Welcome to RC Review, the place for mods and upgrades and nice stuff. And I had a video on this. Click here when you're ready for nice stuff. And we have Neil as well, our world famous builder. And something funny is he built the BRX01 for me, and he says, Francis, when you get the BRX02, can I build it for you? And I'm like, heck yeah. So why did you say that, and what did you find about the BRX01 that got you interested?
This one, because the first BRX01 was like a pleasure to build because everything was so well organized and all the parts were super high quality.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to experience that one again with the newer version and see what the differences were.
Right.
And this one honestly just blew away the O1 out of the water.
Dang.
In terms of quality and the carbon rails and all the upgrades from the O1.
Right. Wow, that's tall order. Hope I got you guys interested. So Neil's gonna talk about the build, the differences between the first and the second, and maybe some tips on what to look for when you get your own. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna have a super surprise for you guys. So hang on for that. But first things first. So Neil, you picked this up, and I think you stayed till past midnight on the first night to build it. What was your experience like?
My experience on building this was, like I said, like a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Since everything fit together so nicely.
Mm-hmm.
But you also had to Loctite everything.
Right.
So that added an extra step, but that beefs up everything in the long run with all the vibration that you're going to be running this on the trail.
Right.
The biggest difference, as you can see, are the carbon rails compared to the O1.
Mm-hmm.
These are a lot stiffer and a lot lighter than the aluminum rails as previous. The other biggest upgrades would be the drive shafts. They're a lot beefier and meatier. And lastly, the axles. So the axles are a little bit wider since these are the fat 90 versus the fat 70 axles.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another upgrade on this vehicle since the Defender is a little bit wider than the LC70.
Okay. If I had one complaint, a couple complaints about this was, one, the body is cool, but this body does not exist in the US. So you kind of want a body you can relate to. And then it seemed kind of narrow, huh? This vehicle, narrow and long. So this one you're saying is a little wider?
Yeah, it's a little bit wider.
Uh-huh.
And wider tires too compared to the LC70 ones.
Okay. So the body mounting system too. So we don't have the body yet. Randy the builder is doing his magic with it. The body mounting system too is quite a bit different.
Yeah. So it uses 4 posts on the side of each rail. And you just, I think, clamp it down instead of having the swivel mount.
This one is a swivel mount, and you have to get an option to make it tool free. This one, the body has a spring-loaded clamp in here, so you just press on it.
Yep.
And to open it, you just hold it one move, and the thing is off. So this center universal looks a little bit different.
Yeah. So the O2 uses a double universal joint for the transmission to the transfer case.
Right. So more articulation. They don't have to be at a perfect straight angle, huh?
Yeah.
I see.
I think maybe from the previous version, a lot of people had binding issues from the forums that I read.
I see.
So that's why they updated this part.
I see. Mm-hmm. And still a 2-speed?
Yep, 2-speed transmission.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also upgrade the transfer case if you want a rear-wheel drive, switchable, or a dig.
Really?
Yep.
Really. And I think in this version, I think they give you the satisfaction of building the transfer case yourself and the gearbox, right?
Yeah. So you had to build both separately versus the O1, which comes pre-assembled.
Pre-assembled, right? And how did that build go? No problem.
No problem. Just a lot of shims. Just read the directions carefully, and it'll be smooth at the end.
The shocks look a little different too, huh? I get the feeling those are longer.
Yeah, I feel like these are a little bit more high quality.
Yeah.
The springs are
Single stage springs instead of dual. And they look longer. It's sitting the same length. Maybe those are 90s, huh? Yeah. Definitely upgraded shocks.
When you're doing the shocks, just be wary of the direction when you're going to put the pivot ball in, because you may break the plastic pivot ball retainer inside. And
the motor we went with for now is
the Hobby Wing 550 can motor in the 3300 kV spec.
3300 R2, revision 2. And he said spec because this is going to be the Spectre Defender. If you've seen James Bond, we needed power because this thing is going to rally. With its 2-speed transmission and this monster motor, it's going to do some jumps.
Oh, yeah.
But because of that, a lot of people put a Fusion. I'll give you a link to the Fusion. A Fusion is a motor, a 540, and an ESC built in one. This one is a straight-up powerhouse, but we have a big ESC. What did you have to do with the ESC?
Yeah, so if you're not going to run the Fusion, you have to put the ESC in the rear.
Way in the back.
So that you can clear the body and the interior. So you got to cut the wires for the motor and resolder longer wires so you can reach the rear. And you also need to buy a sensor wire extension. Yeah.
All right, so here is the steering. And pretty amazing steering angle. And then the shift servo.
So this one's for 2-speed.
2-speed. Very reliable. Shift under power. And they do supply their own shift servo, a high voltage one, 8.4. That way you can run your steering and your shift servo at the same voltage. Okay, well, I promised you guys a surprise because you hung on till the end. All right, here is the surprise. It is a different version of this vehicle. This used to be an option parts and whatnot. It's the leaf spring edition.
Yep.
All right, so let's open it up. So there's three levels of this. It's black on black, unfortunately.
Second level, and then the third level.
Okay.
Here are the leaf springs that you put on every corner on the vehicle, which replaces the springs. But you do have the dampers for it.
Right. What's cool about these leaf springs too is they don't bind. They're mounted nicely, so they have a lot of articulation, a lot of tuning as well.
Yeah. So you can take off the leaves to make it more bouncy, or brand new skid plate, so you can cover up the links on the bottom here.
Oh, really?
Yep. So it's a cleaner skid plate.
Wow.
For both front and rear.
They kind of look 3D printed too, huh?
Yeah, I think they're printed in nylon.
I see. Hot off the press. And then this is what Neil's talking about.
Yep. So the dampers. So I think they should be the same. No. Yep. Same length as the ones on the 4-link version, except these are non-threaded. Oh, this one has the attachment for the 4-link, but this one does not.
I see. It doesn't need it. So there you go. Leaf Spring Edition. What you get on the Leaf Spring Edition is a lot more realism. It behaves differently like a real truck, but you do have less articulation. The Boom Racing stuff has more articulation than other Leaf Spring stuff, but it's going to be less than the 4-link.
Yep.
It also affects your steering, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because especially if you have bigger tires, the tires will hit the leaves at some point.
You do get more points though if you're
that's right.
running class 1 competitions with leaf springs.
Right.
If you're into that stuff.
And you do get more bro points, meaning your peers will be impressed by your sticking to the scale.
However, you can't run carbon rails.
Oh, really?
That's the only downside.
For
class 1 comps.
Yep. Well, there you go. No running video, but that's coming next. Our body's being James Bonded right now as a Spectre Edition Land Rover Defender pickup, and we will have quite a bunch of
Yep.
running stuff for this. So, thanks a ton.